Welcome to the channel. In case you're just going to the channel for the first time, this is Jodave. So on the last trade call video we watched, price was at this point at that time, and we have waited for a sell from this point here to this down here, and that's this roll of 1 to 4.5, and the trade played out nicely, which I explained in the last video was because we had a nice break of structure, breaking the structure above, and before we take a buy, we need to see market push back to this demand candle we have here, this 4 hours or the global, right? And exactly how that price pulled back there, and we sold from this point here, we sold this down, and we have a nice history of 1 to 4, and let the price pull back here. I waited on the lower time frame to see a change of character, so you can see first drop here, pull back, then came again. So it was the second time it came back, they had a change of character on the lower time frame, on the 15-minute time frame, and that was where I took my entry. And we had a entry. This my target here, this green bar, and you can see we have a few TP there. This is to 1 to 8.4, yeah, 1 to 8.4, and that was a nice TP. So we had a nice sell from this point to this point here, which we actually make 4% of account, and actually here we also make 8% of account, and that's about 12% of the account, and it's a very nice trade. So on this week trade call, we're going to analyze together where exactly is market going to push next to. And on the last trade call, I also explained very well that on this is the 4 hours last low we see before we had this break of structure here. So this is what I explained on the last video. I said this break of structure, yeah, so this break of structure, the pullback that broke this structure was this pullback here, not this one. So it was this one. So this was the pullback that break this structure to the downside, which tended us more so to this downside, right? And if you want to take a nice sell, you wait for price to push back to the area of interest, which is somewhere around this point, and we had a nice push there. We sold, and first TP was here, and price didn't get to TP. We started seeing this reversal. So just to tell you, then I say internal structure. Now this price change character from this internal structure. Actually, the main change of character that we need to see for us to confirm that yes, now we are shifting from a bearish trend to a bullish trend is this particular one that is here, and which is exactly what happened last week. So we can see we had a break above, a nice clear break above. Now we are even trading above it. So now I can quickly tell you that we are now in a bullish trend. All right, and from this point here, now if you want to take a buy from any area from this point, our next target is going to be this guy, which was the previous high that was created. So for the 4 hour time frame, you can see if I show you the 4 hour time frame, we have this low, we had a high, we had a low here, we had a high, now a low, so we should go for a high as well, right? So if you can break this structure, but if you can break this structure, I mean here this structure, then create a new higher high, so the trend continue. But before we activate for a new high, at least target the previous high that price created, because that's where price is attracted to. So that's where we're going to be targeting this. This will be our first area of target, then can have other interest above there. So now how do we get into trade? I'm going to zoom out very well now, so let's just zoom out and see exactly how do we get into trade. So looking at this area here on the 4 hour time frame, I cannot really see an area where I can say I should get in. This should have been a very interesting area to get in, but looking at this area where price created this high, if you try to use the Fibonacci to measure, all right, from this low here to this high, so I'm just going to be using the wicks of this kind here. I'm using this wicks here. So if you see from this low, this is just an equilibrium zone, and I will not be interested in trading in a equilibrium zone. At least I'm interested in taking a buy, right? So if I'm interested in taking a buy, I need to see that price come back to discount. So we have to get a discount price, maybe somewhere around this 78 Fibonacci with 23 minutes. So that's going to be a very nice entry. All right, so and yes, so if you want to add an extension, so we have maybe some TPs here then for this one. So that's a very good one, but so I have to look for a. So now I'm going to be going straight to the 1 hour time frame. Let's see if we could get any area of interest in the 1 hour time frame. This is why multi-time frame analysis is very important. So you can just going to open your eyes. So now I can see from this. So let me just delete this guy. So let me delete these guys. They are done. We're done with them. We're done with them. So yeah, and that's where I think this one to be done with it. So I'm just going to use it. All right. So now this area here, now this is where I'm not interested in. So since price is trading above this area here, and I'm going to taking the buy, before I take the buy, I need to see price push to an area of interest where I can actually take the buy. And looking at this area here, I going to be using this particular other block candle that is here. Yeah, that other block there. So I'll be interested in using that other block that is there as my entry parameter. Actually, I have this small candle here, but I think price is going to drop to this point. So that is what I'm seeing on the chart. So if I'm actually going to be taking the nice sell from this area, I'm going to be dropping all the way back to this zone before I took that buy. So what I'm expecting on the market on EURUSD now is we need to see a drop off here before I'm expecting for a nice move to the upside. And it's actually going to be a very nice switch to what if you ask me, because this trade is going to be a long-term trade. All right, so if I try to check the buy from this point here, I'll stop loss below that area. So I'm just going to put my stop loss below the switch size here. So stop loss below there, and I have my target here. This is going to be a risk reward of 129.44. So that's a nice trade. If you ask me, that's a nice trade. That's a nice risk reward. So and also you're going to be looking for a selling opportunity from this point here to sell to this point, and then I wait patiently to get my confirmation before buying. So I'm going to be waiting for a selling opportunity around this area, and that selling opportunity on this 1 hour time frame, if I try to zoom out, is this should have been a very nice selling opportunity right from this point. But the reason why I'm interested in taking the sell from here is because this was an engulfing candle. You could see a very bullish engulfing, and we have what an indecision candle. And the candle that come after this candle is our confirmation candlesticks we need, right? And this guy came. But the reason why I'm not interested in using this guy to take entry was because it does not engulf this previous one, and two, it's just like it traded half of it. Let me say half of it. Like it, if it still gets it like this point, nice to plan better. It's clearly below half of it, and also have some rejection. That's why I'm not really interested in using this candle. Though the next candlestick came as a Marabuzu candlestick and closed below it, very nice. So in this kind of scenario, if I really want to take entry on this kind of candlesticks, so this should be my entry. I wait for price to come back in trade and I take entry, right? But now I'm just analyzing the chart, so not on the trade yet. So now let's see how we can get an entry. So you can actually, if we confident that we can take an entry here and put stop loss here, but I'm going to go to one time frame and see how I can just spot maybe one lower time frame candlestick or change of pattern. So change of pattern is very important on the lower time frame. So if I can see a change of character on the lower time frame from a bearish outlook trade, from a bullish outlook trade, might be a bearish outlook, then I'm use that to take an entry. So I can just go to 30 minutes time frame. So let's see what we got there. So on the 30 minutes time frame, so we had this candlestick stand there. We had that. We had a nice push back there. We had a push down. We closed below it, but now we are coming back out of it. So this is really looking a bit confusing. Yeah, it's really looking a bit confusing. Well, on this 30 minutes time frame, if I really want to take the entry on this 30 minutes time frame, this is exactly what I'm going to be waiting for. I'm going to wait for price to close below these guys, like close below this zone here. A nice close below it, then a big test of it. Then I might take a sell from this particular. A nice close below here, a test of it, then I can take a sell all the way to this point, to that particular zone before I start taking a buy. So that's what I can just say on the 30 minutes time frame. That's what I can. So I think price needs to, it's kind of wanting to change character, but I'm saying it's not changing the character yet, because you can see that this is still a high. We had a nice pullback. What price was created a new high, but was structure taken out? No. You see that it only spiked above it with the wick, so the body of the candle are not really closing above it. Yeah, so let me just put it very well here. Yeah, so that's let me just look at it. So okay, so so we need to see candlestick closing above it, at least one or so, very clear to close above this guy. So let me just look at this guy because it's looking confusing now. So on the very neat. So we need to see a candle closing. You can see this one like slightly close above that. This slight kind of close above I need, and this one too doing like say rejected back. So you can see this structure is not taking off yet. So which is the other that we might be having trouble here. And you can see this bullish candle that came as it's pushed, it pulled back. You need to get a pullback again, so it does not close above it. That's so from that area I'm not really seeing EURUSD bleeding all the way out from this point. I'm not really seeing that. So on this 30 minutes time frame. Okay, let's just go to 15 minutes time frame and see if you can get something reasonable there. So this is 15 minutes time frame. It's still the same thing we're seeing on 30 minutes time frame. So everything still confirming the same thing. Just this the blog area. So now this one making more smaller. So that's just the difference. And price tapped into it and it's kind of selling off. Which is a very nice one anyway. So okay, what I'm going to do now is if I'm interested in taking this self right now. So because this thing another blog again pretty here. And price is tapping into it again. So if I'm really taking this sell from here, I can just take the sell from this point here, then put my surplus somewhere here. It's actually meant to be above this guy because I need to protect my capital. So I'm just going to put it above that guy, which is going to be 15 pips. Yeah, I think 15 pips is okay. So since we have a long target which is worth, so 15 pips is okay. And I'm going to be targeting all the way back to this point here. So I'm actually going to be taking that sell now. Now I'm targeting back to this zone here. So once we get to this zone, this is what I want to 8.5 already. So, but notwithstanding, once price still comes to this guy here, break below it, if let's see, I might get my second entry and still sell it all the way down. So that's really what I'm expecting for on EURUSD. Nothing much on EURUSD. So that's what I'm expecting for. If you take close below this guy, have another entry, then sell it down. So we cannot go back to the 4 hour time frame. Yeah, for each. So back to the 4 each time frame. So the candle are looking too much on the opportunity time frame. That's just the advantage of the lower time frame. So you can see we now getting the entry on our 15 minutes time frame and it's just the same zone. So I'm going to delete this zone. So oh sorry, that's not the one I want to delete. I'm going to delete this zone. Yeah. So down the sell from there, and once we come below here, we test again. I'm going to be having second entry, and I can actually take out this guy since it's not more useful now. We have taken that high house, so we now have a clear what change of character. So let me just label it change of character. So that's nice, a nice change of character from the high time frame perspective. So though we are bullish, but we just want to take a short time sell trade. So we had a change of character. So since the change of character, this inner low is taken out. So we have space for more bullish to the upside. But you need to see price pull down back here. We need to see that pullback. Then we have our nice entry. Then we target this high next. This is going to be equal of 1 to 9. And for the extension, where I can just let's see where the extension might likely be. If I try to use Fibonacci, this was the low, this was the high, this was the low that created this high. So I'm going to use this low for this high. So this low here. So extension, Fibonacci is telling us that extension might likely be in this area. Yeah, so that's what Fibonacci is telling us. So which means if we bleed out of this way, out of this high here, for us to continue high might be placing a new higher at this point. So once price is approaching this level and I see the momentum, I can just extend my TP all the way back to this point. So which is going to be, so let's just check that TP level. It's going to be a risk reward of 1 to 14.8, 1 to 14.5. So that's a risk reward. That's a nice risk reward anyway. But before that, I'll be eyeing this particular high. So let me delete that Fibonacci. So I just do what it needs to tell me. So do what it needs to tell me. Sorry, I think I did say the wrong thing. Okay. So yeah. So this is my first level target, and this is going to be my second level target. All right. So that's a swing trade, a swing trade. So if you want to swing trade this setup, that's a swing trade setup for you there. So this cell, you can see this cell. So maybe just a stop loss on this cell because my put it double top. Understanding anything that happened, this is just a lower entry. So it's not something that really serious. So the main entry which I'm really interested in taking these positions here is this clearing off of this low. That's the main entry I'm interested in. But understanding, so let's just leave this one and see how it actually works and how it actually plays out. Then the main setup we're interested in is the buy setup. All right, so it's the buy setup. This buy setup that is here. So that's the main one we're interested in because you can see that EURUSD is bullish. All right, so it's very, very bullish. So now let's go to DXY. Let's analyze DXY together. This is DXY chart in front of me, and if you watch the last trade call video I dropped, let's just go to forward time frame. I think so. For each time frame. If you watch my last trade call video on DXY, it was a very simple trade. I watched last video, price was trading around this point, and I said we'll be expecting a nice push up back here, then we'll take a sell from there back to the zone, which this zone will mark out here. Just gonna watch the last video, everything is there, detailed there. So, and you can see we had a nice push, and it's like few pips touching that entry, then price reverse from there. But the important of this is that we got the direction right. A first push here up the back, so we have that correction, we have that direction confirmed, like a first push to the upside then before the drop. So when the direction was confirmed here, so and that's a very nice one if you ask me here. So that is just the most important thing, getting the direction of the market right. So it gives you a better hedge so you can trade profitably. All right, so we had a nice push back there, and just few pips, to tap in our entry. Trust me, if I was actually trading DXY, I will still get an entry in this area here. Trust me, because I will use the daily time, this smaller time frame confirmation to get my entry, and I'm going to take it. But I just analyzing DXY to get the direction of the market on the EURUSD GBPUSD and the US correlated pair, right? And the pair that's correlated to DXY, like opposite correlated. So that's just what we are analyzing DXY for. And so we have a nice put there, then we have the drop. So my target is here, and you can see price is kind of very close to my target now. Just let's say 2% remaining. So out of 7%, we have 2% remaining. So if you ask me, this is a very nice trade. So I use this green other blog here, and just few pips before tapping in. And so presently now, what are we expecting on DXY? You can see that now DXY has given us a new break of structure here. Yeah, we had a nice break of structure here, right? So we had that nice break of structure. So now what I'll be expecting on the DXY is DXY might likely drop forth to this place first. So notwithstanding of anything that happened, but before we continue with the sell, we should likely see a then nice pullback to a decent zone. So we may have that push up back here first before the drop, or we just have the drop from there to the TP. So anything can happen of any scenario. So, but what we just need for is to guide us on the direction of the market, which we already get. And I think we are fast approaching this zone. And on DXY, once price can close below this zone and we test it, that's going to be a very valid area where you can have more sell to the downside. So more sell to the downside, and once that's confirmed on DXY, then expect EURUSD to give us more buying opportunity. So that's what we just want to be clear about. So expect more buying opportunity on EURUSD once DXY can break below this zone. Yes, break below that zone. More buying opportunity on EURUSD and GBPUSD and the rest. So you can see DXY is still very much bearish. So which is still confirming with our confirmation. So just a few pips below that. And actually this is December trading period. So December there's no much trading activities like that, because most of the big hedge funds and the big investors are taking their profits, so going for holiday, going for the Christmas holiday. So there's not much trading activity. So you may have a lot of mix in the market, so a lot of up and down. So there's also this December, we just want to be careful and wait patiently for our setup, or better still, we just wait a channel where everything comes back to normal, then we'll start trading again. All right, so if you're valuing this video, you want to smash the subscribe button and drop a like, and don't forget to click on the notification bell so you know stay addicted when I drop a stock content like this. And don't forget to drop in the comment section what you feel about this analysis. Tell us the page you want us to analyze next, and we're just going to cover that. So let's get back into the video. All right, so that's just for DXY. So I think I'm done for DXY. So I'm going to go straight to the EURUSD, GBPUSD now. So but before I go, let me see something happening on the EURUSD. Okay, it's still very nice. So just go to GBPUSD straight from there. So GBPUSD, yeah, on our last trade call we drop, the last trade call we drop, if we check the last trade call video very well, sorry, excuse me. So we had price trading around this region, and I said I'm going to be expecting a sell from that point here. I think price was around somewhere here, a sell from this area here all the way to this place before we take the buy. This was the area we're interested in taking the buy, right? So and stop loss just something like this. And I closed out the trade on the risk reward of 1 to 3 somewhere here. I closed out the trade on the risk reward of 1 to. I'm trying to remember. Okay, I think the entry was somewhere here. I think the entry was here. Stop loss was just something like this. Stop loss was just very small. So I think 1 to 3 point something, 3.3. I took that to 3.3. So you can just go and watch the previous video. So everything is there. Just updated the chart. So I deleted I went out of the trade. Yes, I think yes. So this is exactly where I went out of the trade. So I can remember the close of this candle was where I closed the trade. The close of this bullish candle here, that was where I closed the trade. And the reason why I closed the trade there was because we had trend line playing. I tried to check what is really happening on EURUSD. EURUSD is not really giving us that deep pullback we're expecting. So it's giving us a shallow pullback. After we had this break of structure to the upside here, we changed the fractal I mean. So we had a nice pullback here and went up, come down, went up. So I tried to check the way it's pulling back, the pulling back candles. So if you try to check this pullback that we have here, you see that it's similar to this. So the moment I saw this, I was looking at it like this is similar. So immediately this candle close, I close out the trade. But before I close the trade, I also check from here. I draw it connected to this one, then I drag forward. I see that was a nice touch on the trend line. I was like, oh, USD is in the problem. GBPUSD is in the problem. So I'm just having shoot buy from there. And at the point price was here, even USD has also got into that area where I wanted to sell to. Now I'm not positioning myself for a buy. So at the time this is happening on GBPUSD, I'm like, no, this is the right time to get out of the trade. So I closed the trade on a wish for 1 to 3 points, one or thereabouts, and just watching. So presently now, what I'm waiting for on GBPUSD is before taking the buy on GBPUSD, because we are still very, very much bullish. And for the matter of fact, GBPUSD is even kind of more stronger than that EURUSD for now, like the strength. So the pound is getting more energy than the euro for now. So GBPUSD is very, very bullish, very, very bullish. I'm going to tell you that. So, but obviously, if I take this sell here, I can see a lot of wicks, candle wicks at this bottom. So which this thing signify liquidity, right? So I would like market taking out all this liquidity, at least market dropping back to this area here before I take the buy back to this zone. All right, so this is going to be my target and more targets. All right, more extension target in the future. But before I'm considering taking the buy on GBPUSD, I would like price back to this zone here, back to this area. Why am I putting back to this area? If I go to 1 hour time frame, I think we have another block around that area. So you can see that's another block on 1 hour time frame. So you can see this like a double bottom. So we have some wicks here, this trend line. So I just believe all this liquidity is taken out, like a nice drop here before we take that buy. So from this zone here, this is where I've actually been expecting that drop from this zone here. I'm expecting the drop from this zone here to this point, and from this point I can take a buy all the way to this high. So which this is going to be my setup on GBPUSD, a buy here, a stop loss just below here, and my target is going to go all the way to this high here, and that's giving me a issue of 1 to 7.42. So that is what I'm expecting on GBPUSD at the moment. And thirdly, if we try to check, if you understand how trend line works, all right, there are only valid 3 areas you need to look for on the trend line. Is the first touch, second touch, and the third touch. So the fourth touch is kind of a little bit tricky sometimes. It doesn't really work as that of the first, second, and third. So if you check the first touch here, it pull up, we had a nice push, they will pull back. So which we connect this one to this one, drag it forward. Then when price came for the third touch, we should expect that move, and we had it. So now price is coming for the fourth touch. So the fourth touch is kind of a little bit tricky. It doesn't really work like that. Yeah, it doesn't really work like that. So you see when it came for fourth touch here, it's like if it's came back there again, even close below it, now came inside again. So the fourth touch does not really play like that. So which I'm going to be expecting a sell from this point all the way back to this bottom. So I'm not going to be selling GBPUSD because GBPUSD is kind of very, very strong for now, very, very strong. Its way it's moving is kind of crazy. So all right, but we should actually see a very nice sell from this zone. Stop loss below here. That if I'm interested in taking this sell, but I'm not going to be taking this sell. All right, stop loss below there and above there, and my target here is going to be a risk of 1 to 3. So I'm just going to target 1 to 3. So 1 to 3. So once you have the drop there, then I'll be waiting for a buy from that area. So that is all for what I'm seeing on GBPUSD, and that's what I'm expecting. So from this point, I'll be expecting a buy, then we can start going to the upside. So I'm just going to delete the trend line now because I don't really like seeing the top 4 touch of the trend line. So just to make the chart very clean, a nice drop off from this point here, then a nice push up from this point all the way to this high for us to break structure, give us a new higher high, then we have it there. And this green line, I think it's actually a zone from the higher time frame. If you try to check it, so it's actually, yes, you can see the zone from the higher time frame. So when price goes in the downtrend, high, you have the low, the high, the low, you have another high here, we have the low. So now good, this area here was the last high price created. The last high that broke the structure was this high here. Excuse me. The last high that price created that broke the structure was this high here, this high. And this was the new low we had, right? So let me explain this in details. So we had this push after this push, break of structure from this side, the break of structure down, we had this nice pushback. Then price try to come again, push back. So this is not the low, the high we need. This is not the high we need. The high we need is this one, because this one was one that broke the structure. So we had a nice pullback to that side. Then after that, we could see we start having some internal structure playing out. So these are just internal structure. So for it to become a valid structure, like from a bearish outlook to a bullish outlook, you need to take out the last high that was created for the bearish move. So the last high and is this high, so which we've not even getting there yet. So that's why I say once I take a buy from here, I'm going to be targeting that zone in case it doesn't want to break it. So that's why I'm targeting this zone. In case it doesn't want to break it, I'll take my TP, then wait, because I might just get here, excuse me, because it might just get here and start dropping off all the way from there. My price might just push up here and start getting off, dropping off. But notwithstanding, if you really want to continue with that bullish move, which we're seeing on the, if I try to go to the, I think the daily time frame, so you can see on the daily time frame, we are very bullish. So we are very bullish. So you can see that we had a nice push down here, then we came to break the structure. So this is just a pullback. To me, this is just a pullback. And this structure that was broken out, we have some external structure that was playing out as well before the structure was taken out. Then we pull back to, if I try to, this actually should be the Fibonacci area we should be interested in, because this was the last low we could see on the higher time frame to this last high, and you can see that price don't even get 50% retracement. So that's why I'm explaining earlier that GBPUSD is very bullish. So it's moving rapid, the move is rapid. So that's why it doesn't even care coming to a very interesting area to take the buy. So it's just pulling out. So as much as fast as can. But notwithstanding, this is another structure that we have here, creating series of lows and highs, series of lows and highs. So we have a high here, a low, another high, a low. So the last, I'm trying to check the last low that broke this internal structure is this high here, right here, right? So which is telling us that if, even though we break out of this point here, this area here is still a very valid area we just need to watch out for. So this is a very valid area we need to watch out for on the daily time frame, because price actually tapped into it here and sell off. Which is what I'm trying to explain here is, if you break above this zone here, this zone is a very crucial one we need to watch out for. All right. So the arc zone is a very crucial one we need to watch out for. So you have to understand that every time frame has their own pattern and everything. So all these moves here is 4 hours time frame move. This other one is daily time frame move. All right. So on the 4 hours time frame move, the last high that could break this structure was this one, which you add here, which is exactly what is our first level target. But notwithstanding, once we have that, if you anything that makes us close above it, we are coming here. So at this point, you want to be more careful. All right, you want to be more careful. So this is just all I'm seeing on GBPUSD at the moment. Yeah, this is all I'm seeing on GBP at the moment. We have nice charts playing out here. The price, actually, the price is very neat here, creating a series of highs, low, high. We have a lower low, a higher high, a lower low. So price is very neat here, creating a series of highs and lows. So we have a higher low here, a higher high. We have a higher low here. We have what? A higher high. A higher low. We have what? A higher high. Then under higher low, what? We have a higher high. Right? So I think price needs to come for what? Another higher low. Because if you try to see this is not a pullback, this is just a consolidation phase. So we're just having those consolidation there. If you see, look at this one, we had that drop. So this one is just a consolidation. So we need to see that pullback to as well for a higher low, for a higher high. So that's just what I'm expecting for on the daily time frame. And I think here we come to the end of the video. If you're finding video in this, if you're finding value on this video, you want to drop that subscribe button, click on the like button, and don't forget to click on the notification bell so you don't stay updated when I drop also content like this. And don't forget, guys, drop a comment in the section what pair do you want us to analyze next, which topic do you want us to discuss next, and we're just going to cover that. Then I see you in my next video. Peace out.